That's a wide body beat.
Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host, CJ. Hope all y'all are doing great on this beautiful yet really hot Saturday morning here in the Carolinas, especially Charlotte. All right. Hope y'all are doing good. I am doing great. Glad to be here again for another Saturday episode, another episode of Roster Talk. And as you see right here, we're going into Roster Talk episode 2. Offensive line. And let me tell you, when I started putting slides together for this episode, it started getting crazy, the amount of stuff that I kept finding, like, ooh, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. You know, I thought offensive line was going to be one of those episodes where I'm kind of going to, breeze through it real quick and, dibble and dabble on one or two things and, and be done with it. But it might not go that fast today. I think this is going to be a good one. And all right, and joining me again for Roster Talk episode 2, I got Big Cuz Tony. How you doing, sir?
Pencil number 2, what is happening?
You know what? I'm really gonna get you. I'm really gonna get you. Yeah. So before we went live here, I did like this, and it was something in my hair. And I bent down. I was like, "What is this?" And he goes, "Tony, you look like a dirty number 2 pencil." I said, "Okay." I said, "All right, bet." I said, "I'm gonna get him back for that somehow or another."
Oh my God. I had to get in. I have to get in now because if I don't, I will regret that I didn't. So you know what?
Oh, you're gonna regret that you did.
It is what it is from this point forward.
Yes, sir. Now I know that being where you are, I have no right to complain about the heat, but boy, it's hot.
What's the temperature today?
Oh God, it's gonna get over 100 today.
Well, right now it's 7:07 p.m. my time. It is 96 degrees outside.
That's why I said I ain't got no room to talk. So I saw a post on Facebook. Somebody said it is hot as a church choir anniversary with the guest choir there with no AC in the evening. I was like, yo, and those of y'all, I grew up in the Baptist church. Y'all get in one of them daggone churches, ain't got no heat. Everybody up in there packed in tight together. Everybody get to singing. Yeah, that's hot. That's a different level hot. But daggone 7 something. It is 96 degrees. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
This is just warming up right now. What is this, June? I say by the end of the month, going into the middle of September, there won't be any days where the temperature is below 100.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You be looking at 12 midnight, it'd be 103, 104 degrees outside. Yeah.
Oh, that hurt my soul right there. Oh God. Oh, that hurt my soul.
AC is at a premium here. You feel me? AC is at a premium.
I bet it is. Okay. All right. Well, cool beans. Let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, I want to say, well, let me get my usual spiel out as always. Thank you, everybody, for joining. All right. On your way in, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Whatever platform you're watching on, Facebook, YouTube, or X. All right. Like, follow, subscribe, and I appreciate all the love and support. Also today, all right, I'm going to mention this a few times throughout the live, but also today we're going to do a giveaway, kind of a Father's Day giveaway. All right. And today's giveaway is sponsored by none other than the beautiful, the illustrious, the fantabulous, the spectacular. What's another word? The fine and sexy. Lady over at Nella's Laser and Design. Okay. So for a chance to enter,
I know she feels seen.
Oh yeah, always. And for a chance to enter, just like usual in the comments, enter #4dad. Okay, hashtag for dad in the comment. All you got to do, enter it just like it says right there with the hashtag for dad, and you'll be automatically entered. So what we're going to do, we are going to, okay, we're going to give away your choice of one of these lovely tumblers. All right, customized. You see mine here has dad, patient, provider, all the good stuff on there. It's got a picture of a drill, a hammer, good Father's Day present. And you can choose from, you get your dad one of these custom chains. Okay, now mind you, this says 2025 NFC South champions. You can get just the regular logo. Even if your dad is a fan of another team, y'all let me know. Okay, I'll print them a custom chain out for whatever team they like. So like I said, put the hashtag for dad in the chat. All right, and today we're gonna give away, you got a choice of one of the Panthers chains or one of these custom tumblers brought to you by the lovely lady Janelle at Nella's Laser and Design. Okay, look, she already in the comments talking about something. Whoa there. All right. So let me get to the comments here real quick before we get started. SC Pace, what's going on, man? How you doing? Michael Dennis 210 said, "Hey everybody, hope all is well." Yes, sir. How you doing? Hope all is well with you. And I said the humidity is what gets us here. Yes, it is. It'll be 95 and feel like 105. Said, "Sup, Curtis Payne Jr. and Coach SC fans, what's going on with you?"
What's up, AC SC?
He said, "Whoa there." Marcos Cash was good. He said, "What's up, Tony?" What's good with you, man? How you doing? Yes, sir. Okay. Poppin'. He said Tony sitting on the couch and his boxers is so hot.
Hey, you ain't far from the truth, my brother. Let me tell you something.
Oh,
During this
man,
time of season, I have officially become a hermit. That's with a capital H, capital ER, MIT. Yes, I go from AC to AC. If they ain't got it, I ain't going.
That's hilarious.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I can complain about the heat in North Carolina, but it's a different kind of heat in South Carolina, bro. Woo. Yeah. Yes, it is. All right.
Hey, everybody in the chat, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me pretty good before CJ gets started? Just put a 1 in the comment if you can.
Put a O for old.
You can do that.
No,
you can do that too.
Put a 5 for a fifth floor. Bro, man, for the fifth floor.
Yeah. I'm good.
Oh my God.
Either way you spin it, however you spin it, I'm good.
That's what's up. All right, cool, man. Michael Dennis put a 1 in the chat. Okay, so you
already.
Good,
all right. That's what's up.
All right. So hold on. Let me make sure that I have my slide ready to go. Okay, bet. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it today. All right. First off, big news from the Carolina Panthers and wide receiver Jalen Coker. All right. Mr. Coker got paid. All right. 3 years, up to $41 million, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this is great for Panther Nation. I think it's great for wide receiver room. I think this solidifies him, as number 2 wide receiver right now. You got him, you got Ted, and for all y'all, this is not the official Panthers picture. I did a little editing on here. I can't remember if the people, they call themselves the Coke Boys or the Coke Heads, but I kind of like the Coke Boys a little better. So I put the money beside them and put the chain on them, say the Coke Boy. But Tom, what do you think about Jalen Coker getting this extension?
Well deserved. Well deserved. And I believe he probably could have got more if he would have stayed healthy these past 2 years or even this last year. You know what I'm saying? I believe that being injury prone played a factor, in the negotiations or whatnot. But what you can't deny from him is that when he is on the field, he is hella productive. And the
This is
one
true.
thing that I like about Jalen Coker's game is it's not always dependent on him catching the ball. He's valuable in the blocking game, whether he's
Mm-hmm.
cracking down on the defensive end or blocking a cornerback in a screen or something like that. Like he's the type of player that you want on your team because he's going to play the same regardless if he has the ball or not. And in this scheme, what pretty much any scheme, you want unselfish players, and especially from your wide receivers, you want to
Mm-hmm.
see them contribute in the blocking game. And he
Mm-hmm.
does that with no hesitation. And I love his blocking game. So, he is well deserved. His numbers when he's on the field, when he is available, doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? And you can honestly see the the um the comfort level him and Bryce have with each other, and it's only going to grow um as they go forward into the future because now Coke is here till 2029.
Mm. Hey, and I'm glad you said that. Speaking of comfort level, I saw somebody on Facebook that put a clip together, a clip together of some of Jalen
Mhm.
Coker's catches. And the one thing I noticed is he's good at creating just enough space to be able to make a catch. And you can tell, okay, you can tell. Now, Bryce has a rapport with Ted McMillan. They get out there and they look like they're on the same page. But I think that
Mhm.
rapport is even stronger with Jalen Coker than it is with anybody else. Because one thing Coker is really good at is getting past the defender and catching, go balls. Now, mind you, he's not going to outrun everybody on the field. Now, he did in the Dallas game, a couple years ago. But he's good at getting out, getting maybe like an arm length worth of separation, just a slight little bit of a push off, get him
Right.
separation, and
Right.
and catching the catching passes. And the reason why I say about him and his rapport with Bryce, it was a clip and it was a lot of those, just go balls. And Bryce was, I mean, like, because I see a lot of the comments on X, they showing clips of them throwing in OTAs, and he threw a pass to, I can't remember if it was Michi or Horn or XL somebody, and it was slightly behind them. And like the first 10 comments are like, oh God, he still can't throw, a pass out in front of anybody. Well, that is not the case with Mr. Coker here. I think they have become very, very adept at doing that. If you go back and look at a lot of their clips, Bryce is putting the ball, right where he needs to put it for Jalen to make the catch. But like I said, if I
Right.
would say that he has, the best rapport, any of his wide receivers, it's probably Jalen Coker right here. Better than
Right.
I think they're synced up better than any other receiver that he has. And like you said, if he can get out there and stay on the field, all 17, I'm gonna speak this into existence, all 17 plus the postseason, you know, I think we're gonna see a lot of
Right.
good things, from Coker and in this offense. So yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Panther Dog, what's good with you, man? How you doing?
What's up, Panther Dog?
Michael says good for both sides. Best to lock him up now and show others how they will be rewarded if they produce. I'm glad you said that. Tone, do you
That's
think
true.
this puts any extra pressure on XL, to go out here and perform? Because he did say in an interview the other day that he realized this is kind of like a do or die, year for him because you got Coker that he hasn't played in as many games as XL, but you see the production got his money. Okay. Then you go out and you draft Chris Brazzell from Tennessee, and he has done nothing but go out here in OTAs and make people just say, okay, I see why the Panthers drafted him. And then you have XL
Right.
here. Do you think it's any and mind you, and I'm still team XL. I'm not giving up on him. I don't think the Panthers should give up on him. I know a lot of people are absolutely done with him, but do you think he has any added pressure because of this right here?
I won't say added pressure. I think he has enough. I think he has put enough pressure on himself, and we saw it in the interview that he did. Um, in the roundabout way, he took accountability for last season, his mishaps, drops, things of that nature. Mentioning
Mm,
that things that he could have possibly done better and hopes to get better. Um, you know, the one thing I didn't well one I didn't realize that he was playing at 230 pounds. Like to me, that's too much
mm,
weight, especially when you only like 6'1". You know what I'm saying?
mm.
When you only
Yeah,
really 6'1", like that's damn near Debo Samuel
yeah.
size. And we know how Debo Samuel put on weight the past 2 or 3 years. Um I don't know how much that plays a factor into his hamstrings. I know
Mm,
he's had hamstring issues. Hopefully by dropping that weight, because now he's back at the weight he was at South Carolina. Because at the combine he was like 220, 221. So he's
mm,
back down to that side. They say he's looking leaner,
mm,
faster, quicker. So let's just hope that all that is true and he stays healthy and he can go out there for 17 games and prove the doubters wrong. But right now as we stand, he is no better than the number 3 wide receiver right now. And he's going to be in the battle for that position with Chris Brazzell. Because Coker and T Mac are definitely your one and two, and there's not even a question about that. You know what I'm saying? So how many targets are you going to get, or how many targets do you foresee a number 3 wide receiver get in this offense when we don't really know what this offense is going to look like from a play calling standpoint because Brad
mm,
Isaac is calling plays this year. Plays are the same,
mm,
but there's going to be differences in formations and motions and stuff like that. I think Brad Isaac, no, Dave mentioned that the other night. Like the scheme is the scheme, but just the
mm,
way how they call things and formations and things like that are going to look a little different. So I'm just hoping that when you put all that together, it's going to be more explosive. And if we can take advantage of his ability to get downfield, and when he catch
mm,
the ball downfield, he needs to catch the ball, not fumble with it, not dropping it. You know, being
mm.
aware where he is on the sidelines. Things of that nature. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I said from day one, he was not my pick for wide receiver. I'm not surprised at all the stuff that he's going through. I never had high expectations for him because I knew he was a project coming
Mm.
out. So, you know, um, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, to answer your question, yes, he definitely has pressure on him, but I think it's mainly the pressure he put on himself.
All right. Cool bean. Jay Issue, what's up, my dog? How you doing? All right. Well,
What's
we'll
up,
get we'll
Jay?
get we'll get into that probably in the next episode. We'll go ahead and dive into the wide receivers next time. All right, but for this episode right here, let's go
Yeah,
ahead and get into the offensive line. All right. And
my
what I want to
boys. That's
do,
what I'm talking about.
I want to hold on, let me see. Marco said I think is it going to run more 12 and 21 formations. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, let me tell you that it's going to be interesting. And like I said last week, we know this is going to be the same offense. They're not going to go out here and change up this whole offense, but it's going to be interesting to see the play calling, the formations, and how Izzy does it different than Dave Canales, if he does it different than Dave Canales. So we'll see. Let me see. Strat 843, what's up? I'm excited to see this offense take a lead. You and me both. God oh my, you and me both. Said, I've been great, fellas. Thanks for asking. Anytime, man. Anytime. All right. Now, I want to get into the offensive line. Okay, and there's been some movement, some changes, injuries. retirements, free agent signing elsewhere. So there's been a lot of moving and shuffling going around on the offensive line. So what I wanted to do is start off with the three pieces on the offensive line that we know are, as of right now, okay, set in stone. We know these three positions, and we know who's going to be in them. And let's take a look at what they did last season. Okay, so we got our right tackle, Taylor Moton. Okay, and all these stats generated from PFF. So he had an overall 80.5 grade, 76.5 pass blocking grade, 81.9 run blocking grade. He played
Oh, I'm
901
still in this.
snaps last season. Go right ahead. 901 sacks, 901 snaps, my bad. Okay, he had 5 penalties. He allowed 3 sacks, 4 hits, and 22 pressures. Okay, so I think it's safe to say, with Taylor Moton, he's still our anchor, on that right side of the offensive line. The only thing with let me move this out of the way here. The only thing with Taylor Moton that might come, and not it's not on the field. Okay, it's not on the field. But taking a look at these guys and also, their position as far as the salary cap. So Taylor Moton signed his extension a couple of years ago. Now, okay, so if we get through this season, now the Panthers, if they decided to cut Taylor Moton this season, they would take a $34 million dead cap hit. Okay, so Taylor Moton is entering into that spot in his contract where now we make it through this year, everything is good. Hopefully, we make it through next year. Taylor Moton come out here play at the same level as well. But the Panthers have a wee bit of room of flexibility, or a little bit of flexibility here, because now 2027, if they were to cut Taylor Moton, they would save $14 million, towards the cap. And I'm just mentioning this. I'm not saying that I want Taylor Moton gone, at all. I hope he can play this year, next year of his contract. Hell, if he can play a few more years and still play at the same level, sign him back. You know what I mean? But but there was a lot brought up, and I know a lot of people are still, talking about, oh, they paid, they spent 150 million, on the offensive line, then they extended Moton and blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. I think for some people that's still a sore point. I'm serious. I hear that a lot. And it's like, well, they spent 150 million on the offensive line, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know. But I do think the Panthers are set up, as far as the offensive line, where when changes may need to be made, they're going to be in the spot to be able to make them. And maybe I ain't gonna say preferably, but I'll say preferably in the draft, if we can get the talent, hopefully we won't be in the top 10. I hope it's not another season where it's just like, oh crap, here we go picking in the top 10 of the draft again, because that means we had a sorry season. Hopefully that's not the case. But all in all,
Right.
Taylor Moton, solid, doing his thing. Tony, any thoughts on Mr. Moton here?
Taylor Moton has been a model of consistency since he's been in the league. I know he's had some issues with his right elbow or something like that, like tendonitis or something like that. But he has been a model of consistency since he's been in Carolina. And I can't remember how old he is right now.
32.
But it has gotten to the point to where you have to start looking at the future for that position. Not saying that he needs to be replaced right now, but when you factor in, the salary cap hit, when you factor all those things into the mixture, quality of play, can you upgrade at that position and hopefully get better talent for a cheaper price? Because all these owners are always looking to get better at a cheaper price. He's getting up there in age. He definitely has played well beyond the average NFL lifespan. So kudos to him on that.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was times the past 2 years where we looked at Taylor Moon. We was like, I don't know. I don't know if he's worth, this amount of money or even the money that he's making right now. But you can never question his availability because he's always there. He may have missed 1 or 2 games here and there, but nothing substantial, nothing for a long period of time. And you don't really hear his name mentioned a whole lot, pre-snap
Mm-mm.
penalties, things like that. I mean, I know there were times where we just saw him getting manhandled at the right tackle position, always on the ground. So, all those type of things um come into play. And those are things that Dave, Dan, Brent Tillis, guys on the in the scouting department, those are the conversations that those guys have to have, and I'm pretty sure they have had, um, about possibly looking to the future at that right guard position. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I like Tatum Moore. I liked him coming out of Western Michigan. I liked his story being the underdog, coming from a Group of Five school.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into the NFL and being a starter day one, and has made it worked out for him. So I ain't tripping about that. But as like I said, at some point in time, you got to make a decision that moves you forward into the future, and that future doesn't necessarily include Taylor Moton.
This is true. This is very true. Very true. Okay. All right, I got you. Hey, and like Papa said, he's the best right tackle in Panthers history. Let me tell you, I give him
That
that.
is true.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the longevity of it, yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yep.
yes, he is.
Nurbash, what's going on? He said, I missed the Coker discussion. Oh man, just go ahead and rewind back. It was pretty good. And for those of y'all who didn't see, uh, look at Coker signing this deal. He got his chain on, his Coke Boys chain on, got his money up there. Let me tell you, I found that picture hilarious. So I had to go back and see it again. But all
Knowing
right.
good and hell, knowing good and damn well he lived right next door to an FBI agent. He going pro.
Oh goodness, yeah. Let me tell you. Let me see. It's always good. It's always a good thing when you don't mention an old lineman. That means he's doing his damn job. Yes.
Facts.
But you know
Facts.
what, Tony? Remember a couple years ago, a couple years ago, when I used to be like, well, my thing is you have Taylor and Icky, okay? And it was like you had
Mm-hmm.
certain plays where they were both getting beat. It was just Icky man would
Yep.
always get to the quarterback first. And mind you, like, damn, Icky gave up a sack. But you go back and rewind the tape. Now, mind you, no shot, no shade at Taylor Moton, but there were times that he was having some issues too, and they were having issues together. It's just that usually Icky man was always first around the corner and would
That
get to
is
the
true.
quarterback. And you see Taylor Moton on the other side, like, damn, and then we move on to the next play.
Icky has definitely saved Taylor Moton from upping his sacks allowed account. I tell you
Yes.
that.
Moton doesn't
Yeah.
get enough credit. He's been consistent his whole career. This is true.
That's a
Because
fact.
he was a Carolina Panthers Iron Man all the way up until last season. I think last season was the first time he missed a game in his career. Like you said, with the tendonitis in his
I don't think
elbow.
it was. I don't think that's true. Cause he's missed a couple games, um, at other points in his career, especially the past 2-3 years. I don't think
Well, I'm
last
just
year was the
saying it
first
was.
time.
Well, if it wasn't last year, it was the year before. Then it was at some point. He had never missed a start, and I can't remember if it was last year or the year before.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of them where he had missed his first game in his career. So for a long time, he was the Panthers Iron Man. Always out there, always available, always playing. So we got to give Taylor Moton much respect for that. But again, the first piece of our offensive line that we know is in place, is set. God
Right.
forbid, barring any injuries, we good to go at right tackle. All right. Now let's
Right.
go ahead and move on. Damian Lewis, okay, our left guard. All right, who out of that $150 million that they spent on the offensive line, that a lot of people are still whining and complaining about. So far, this has turned out to be the better of the two investments. Okay. Let me see. Hey, Panthers Comms podcast, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? It said keep pounding, y'all. What's good with you, big dog?
Hey, I watched a couple, not to cut you off, CJ, but real quick,
No,
I
you
watched a
good. Go
couple
ahead.
videos that this brother did. I think within the past week and a half. I just came across his channel, and I
Mm,
liked it. I was like, I want to reach out to him and talk to him about a couple things, a couple ideas that I have, because I loved his analysis on breaking down a few things, especially when he was talking about Xavier Xavier Leggett. He had the
mm.
whole skeletal system or the forearm and everything. I was
I
like,
think I saw a little bit of
God
that too.
damn. Yeah, but I like what I saw. So I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out to you, Panthers Com podcast, and see if we can politic on something.
Hey, let me tell you, the thing I like about him most is his intro. He come in, Timmy here, Panthers Comms podcast. I don't know why that should
Yeah,
trip me up every time,
yeah,
but I think it's consistent. It sounds the exact
it
same every
is.
single time. I can tell it's not a recording.
Okay,
It
his
said
name.
just
He
call me
said,
Tim.
"Call him Tim." All right, Tim.
Okay,
I'm
got you, Tim.
I'm Tony.
Appreciate you.
If you ain't never heard my voice on here before, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm Big Lil Cuz.
I'm CJ. I'm the number 2 pencil. That's the number 3 pencil right there. Okay.
Oh
Oh
God,
god. All right, cool beans, cool beans. But
yeah,
but Damian Lewis, Tone, Damian
yes
Lewis,
sir,
reminder,
yes
he's got
sir.
an overall grade last year, 75.7. All right, pass blocking grade 73.1, run blocking grade 78.5. He played 987 snaps. He had 6 penalties, allowed only 1 sack. 1 sack.
Yes sir.
Now with Damian Lewis, he is coming up on so he has this year and next year left on his
Yeah,
contract. Okay.
he won't be
So
a free agent to 28. Yeah,
he is already in that range where if the Panthers, for whatever weird reason, okay, right now, if they had to cut him, it's not going to cost them they're not going to lose any cap space. And like I said, I'm just bringing this up, adding context to these guys, their position, and how they kind of fit towards the future. Not saying that the Panthers should cut him at all, at all. I would lose my
right.
shit if I woke up tomorrow and they said the Panthers parted ways with Damian Lewis. I would go down there, jump across that damn fence, and try to take a sledgehammer to that new building they got going on out there. But yeah,
Emmy.
a solid piece for the Panthers offensive line since he's been here. Had the injury bug a little bit, but hasn't missed a lot of time. Let me see. He allowed 3 hits and 14 total pressures. Okay, 14 total
Mhm.
pressures this past season. And the reason why I say I think he is, the better investment so far out of, the 150 million between him and Robert Hunt is because, he's been more available. And I'll say that because, Hunt did miss all of last season except for 2 games with torn bicep injury. Okay. So Tone, what are your thoughts on Damian Lewis here?
Well, we was having this discussion on Unk channel the other night, and somebody mentioned about possibly trading away Damian Lewis or Robert Hunt and clearing up some money because we only had 32 million in salary cap going into next season. And I told him that was just flat out ludicrous. Why would you want to trade one of the top 10 guards in the league if he requires you pay him as such? Then you pay him as such,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you get what you get from him. Um, Robert Hunt, we know what Robert Hunt can do. Unfortunately, he missed last year because of the torn bicep or the pectoral muscle,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was. But when he's in there, we know exactly what we get from Robert Hunt. And people have to realize it isn't as easy replacing someone just because what you got, you feel like they making too much money, and they act like we could just automatically get better because we get younger, cheaper talent. Well, that's not always the case. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know, when they made this upgrade and got Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt, one of the first things you and I talked about, CJ, was how that was significantly important because we all know if you're going to pay somebody, we know what the left tackle gets. That's like the second or third premier position in the NFL. But when you talking about protecting your quarterback, giving your being the center of creating a pocket for your quarterback, allowing him to step up, keeping interior pressure off your quarterback. You want to take care of your interior offensive lineman, which is your guard, center, guard. To me, that's more important than whether who your left tackle or your right tackle is. Especially when you have a quarterback like Bryce Young, who we people have talked about year in and year out. He can't seal the offensive line. He can't step up in the pocket, which we know none of that is true, but that's what they say. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand one of the key Iron Man at the position you want to trade. I mean, make that make sense to me. I mean, this guy last year, how many sacks he gave up? One.
One sack,
Like, why,
according to Piff.
why you? Yeah, why you want to trade that away? I think Bryce only got sacked 27 times last year. Do we have to remind ourselves how many times he got sacked year one and year two?
What, 65?
62 is rookie year.
Okay. Yeah.
And close to 40, I think, is his sophomore year, and he didn't even play every game that year. So I listen. I'm a firm belief Damon Lewis is worth every penny that he's getting. I'm gonna do a full breakdown on Damian Lewis because I think people need to see how important he is, especially in the run game. I don't think he gets enough credit in the run game like he should. But I'm gonna highlight that.
Okay, facts. But yeah, everything you said, Tony, I definitely agree with. And like I said, another piece of the offensive line going into this season that we know is there and is in place is left guard Damian Lewis. All right. And D
Right.
Nice, let me tell you, I agree. He said Lewis has earned his contract for sure. So Hunt has not, even when healthy. Okay. We're gonna get into Robert Hunt here in a second too.
That one hurt.
Yeah. Said Lewis and Moulton have been the two most consistent linemen on the team. Money well spent. Facts. JHU said trading Bryce best protection since being drafted is Luda. Fans more worried about saving money than getting
Facts.
premier players in the building. Well, you know
Thank
what,
you,
JHU,
Jay.
and I
Thank you.
think that brings up another topic that we could probably save for another day. We could mention it now. I think you have to give a tip of the hat, to Brant Tillis since he's been here, because the Panthers have been able to make moves, big money moves in free agency the past couple years, but they haven't put themselves in a position where it's like going into the next year, it's like, oh my God, we got to scramble and cut this player and rework 50-11 contracts to be able to make just enough money to be able to pay, the draft picks and get to the 90-man roster. You know what I mean? Like, I used to feel like I used to feel like that. All crap. We got to do this. We got to do that. Now I get the feeling going into every season. I'm like, okay, cool. I see that the Panthers signed this person for $100 million, or they signed that person for 70 or 50 or 40 or however much it be. And you know what my first thought is now? I'm like, bet. Instead of like, well, goddamn, how the hell we gonna pay for that? My first thought now is, bet. Let's go to work. So, shout out to Tillis and Morgan and the boys, and for how they have, in my opinion, turned around the for me, the perception of, the Panthers being able to go out and actually spending money, on talent. So just want to throw that in there. All right. Let me see. We got some dogs at guard. I hope they can stay healthy. Facts.
Facts, Stratic. Facts.
Damian Lewis also helped the center make the line calls for protection. He's invaluable in my opinion. Facts. This is also true. Also true. Okay. All right. So now let's move on from what you want to say something, Tone?
No, yeah.
Go ahead.
When you try to cut Damian Lewis, I think you should run that by Bryce first and see how he feels.
Shoot,
Yeah,
they better run that shit by me.
Yeah, I think that conversation ain't gonna go too well for whoever brings it up.
Yeah, for real. All right, bet. Okay, so let's move on. Robert Hunt. Okay, so as you can see,
My man.
his stats right here missing a lot of stuff from last season because he only played in 2 games. All right, got hurt in the second game, torn biceps. He had overall grade of 64.7, run block 61.6. I'm sorry, I should say pass block. Dang AI. All right, but pass block 61.6, run block 64.7. Okay. So my question for you, Tony, with Robert Hunt is, we all know that he is going to come back and be the starting right guard. Okay. How do you feel? What's your comfort level about him coming back and being able to get back to the level of play that he was at in 2024 and previous seasons? Hello?
Oh, my bad. I had my mute on. My bad. I'm just talking. Yeah. Robert Hunt, man. Hey, listen. I feel like he's going to get back to what he once was. Unfortunately, like I said before, he had an injury, torn biceps. I mean, there's nothing that you can do with that but come back from it. You know what I'm saying? He's still young. I think him and Damian Lewis came into the league the same year. I think they both like 28, 29. They just completed like their 7th year in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I like Robert Hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I really don't have anything bad to say about Robert Hunt. I just want him to come back fully healthy, fully recovered from his torn biceps. He know the offense. He know this scheme. He know this the right tackle beside him. He gonna have to build that relationship with the center, just like Damian Lewis is going to have to do, because the center position is going to be new to both players. But for the overall, knowing the scheme, knowing the offense, knowing your quarterback tendencies, understanding what your running back can and can't do, things of that nature. Yeah, I feel comfortable with Robert Hunt. Again, I have no hesitation or nothing negative when it comes to him getting back into that starting lineup.
Okay. All right, bet. Hey, shout out to Will Robinson, the man, Tip Drill Will.
Tip
He
Drill
said, our
Will.
trench game is strong. Our run game will benefit from our guards. Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
I
Okay.
believe so. And the center. We have to remember, we have to remember how important that center position is in this offense and protecting Bryce in the pass game.
This is very true. Look, I had my mic on mute too as well. All right, cool. But for me, just kind of piggybacking on what Tone said, I just hope Robert Hunt can come back and be healthy all season. Because if you remember, not last season, but in 2024, that was one of our most consistent offensive lines that I've seen in quite a while. It was Icky, Lewis, Cade Mays, Robert Hunt, and Taylor Moton for the majority of the season. I don't think anybody got hurt until that last game of the season. I think it was was it New Orleans? when we had a couple people get hurt.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and,
'Cause I
and
think
came, you know,
Robert Hunt went down that game, and somebody else went down that game.
Corbett. It wasn't it Corbett.
Corbett, yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
No, hold on, not Corbett. No, because hold on. Okay, well, it was.
Was it Corbett playing center? Well,
He
no,
might have
he
been.
got hurt. He came back from injury and played like 4 or 5 games, and then went out
Okay.
again with
Yeah,
the MCL injury.
that's right.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
season, you know, it wasn't a whole lot of rotation as far as offensive line because they stayed pretty much intact for, I said, probably 95%, you know, of the season. Okay. But yeah, you know, I
Okay.
hope we can get back to that. Like I said, I know we got a few different pieces coming in, but again, you know, Robert Hunt, all right, right guard, as of right now, etched in stone, and we'll see how, you know, we'll see how he gets along coming back from his injury and getting prepared for this upcoming season. All right. Now, okay, Tone.
Yeah.
So let's get into I kind of want to get talking about the positions that, you know, we are probably going to have a couple battles at. All right. And that's left tackle and center. Okay. Now, in this next slide right here, and again, please forgive me. There was one mistake here on Icky's side. It says pass blocking grade on both of those grades up there. The middle one, I'm sorry, the middle one is the pass blocking grade, the 67.3. The 70.5 is his run blocking grade. It says pass blocking grade, but it got messed up. Okay. So
Okay.
as you can see here, you know, it's got all their stats, got all their you know, the snaps that they played, you know, run blocking snaps, pass blocking snaps. All right. So Icky, you know, who got his 5th-year extension, he signed that and then got hurt in the playoff game versus the Rams. So we don't know if Icky is going to be gone this entire season, but as of right now, I'm going to assume so, since I think he fully tore his patella tendon. And you know, I had a partially torn one some years ago, and I know that's not something that's all that easy to come back from. And I could just imagine with a fully torn one as an offensive lineman in the NFL. And you can see, you know, that the Panthers aren't taking this lightly by what they did in the draft. Okay. So in free agency, the Panthers went out and brought in Rasheed Walker, who played last year with the Green Bay Packers. All right. So before the draft, we kind of assumed that Rasheed Walker is going to be our starting offensive lineman. So in this slide right here, I just put a comparison of them, you know, side by side to see exactly, you know, what we had in Icky and what we are going to get in Rasheed, or potentially get Rasheed Walker. You know, now what I'm hoping is, now, you know, you got Icky. Icky's always been solid in the run game. Okay, you see his run block grade was 70.5. You look over at Rasheed Walker's, his was a 55.4 last year. All right. But then on the flip side, you got Icky's pass blocking grade, 67.3. Rasheed was a flat out 70. All right. Icky, 70.6 overall grade. Rasheed Walker, 64.4. Okay. Both of them played over 900 snaps. Icky had 942. Rasheed Walker had 986. All right. Icky had 7 penalties. Rasheed Walker had 9. They both gave up 5 sacks apiece. Okay, 5 sacks apiece in 2025. All right. And you know, and I bring this up, and Tony, anything else on this slide right here before I move on? Because I brought this up as just to, you know, kind of, I guess in a timeline way, kind of, you know, Icky's out. This is who we brought in free agency, and then I'm gonna move the timeline forward a little bit. So anything on this slide here that you want to point out?
Well, I was just looking down at the hits allowed. Icky allowed
Mm-hmm.
6, and Rasheed Walker 1, and the total pressures allowed 40 to 34. So in essence, outside of the run blocking grade, there really isn't that much difference between the two players. I mean, in the grand
Okay.
scheme of things, Icky is definitely a better run blocker than pass blocking. But even his pass blocking grade is not far off from Rasheed Walker's. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. So listen, we all know majority of us how we felt or how we feel about Icky. Um, to me, it doesn't even sound like there's an upgrade at that position when you're talking about Rasheed Walker. That is why I'm hoping in training camp, I hope Monroe Freeling can give us an upgrade at the left tackle position and be our starter day one. Now, that's easy for me to say, and I'm basing that off the tape that I watched of Monroe Freeling back in January, February when I was scouting offensive linemen. And I first hit you up, CJ. I was like, "Hey, we gotta watch out for this dude right here. I think he'll be a good pickup." And then all of a sudden, the media start talking about him being, a potential first round pick. So
Stop.
made me
Shut
feel,
up.
made me feel good about my initial evaluation since it was before his name even really got on the radar. But and like I said, I'm just
What up,
basing
bro?
that off what I saw of him at Georgia. I think the upside is higher at this point in time. Rasheed Walker and Icky, they're exactly who you see that they are. There's not much more upside. It's not like they can get substantially better, at their craft. I think they're at that point, where they like I said, they are who they are. So,
Hey, and hold on.
but
Now I mean to cut you
go
off,
ahead.
but before you get into that, and I'm gonna go ahead and switch slides here. Okay, so just like you were talking about, okay, we got the rookie versus the veteran, and I want to bring up a couple comments in the chat. Will
I see
ask,
what
I
you did
wonder
there.
why Walker didn't have a strong off-season market. Okay, Michael said Walker had a
Exactly.
gun issue. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't know if I knew about that and forgot or didn't know about it, period.
Yeah, I
But
didn't. I didn't know.
yeah. And I wondered the same thing too, Will. I wanted the same thing. He was out there, why I don't know what the interest was from any other teams. You know what I mean? But with who
Yeah.
the Panthers had brought in before Rasheed Walker, I'm not gonna lie. I was glad he was available out there to be brought in because for at one point, all we had for a left tackle was Mr. Stone Forsyth. And let me again say that my skepticism about him is not biased at all. It is all about those numbers. And then my man gave up 13 sacks, 11 sacks in 13 games, or 13 sacks in
Yeah.
15 games, something like
No,
that. So
you had it right the first time. 11 sacks in 13 games.
okay, yeah. So my,
Yeah.
I'm y'all gonna notice. I'm gonna keep bringing him up. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's because of those numbers. All right. So Tone, now you were starting to shift to talking about Monroe Freeland versus Rasheed Walker, for that left tackle spot. So go ahead, young soldier. Run forth.
That was a perfect segue, huh? I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
ain't even
yeah,
I
yeah.
ain't even know you had this coming up.
Well, I
But
didn't tell you.
no, yeah, like I said, I didn't know. I don't know much about Rasheed Walker. I didn't go back and watch any film on him and see what he did in Green Bay last year or the year before last. I just saw some highlights that were out there. I did read his yeah, I saw that. I need my left tackle to shoot guns.
Oh
So
God.
I did go back and see what his combine evaluation was, and it kind of match up what you saw or what people saw in his play. I can't remember
Mhm.
exactly what it said, but I know they said like one, he doesn't bend that well to be Stone Cold is
Hey, hold on.
and
So
real
instead of
stupid, man.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, we gonna call him Stone Cold Sacked Often.
I don't know what.
I'm sorry,
But
Tone. Go ahead.
anyway,
I'm a hush. I'm a hush.
any who, um, Yeah, I just like Monroe Freeland, and hopefully when it all shakes out, I'm under the belief that he'll be our starting left tackle. Now I don't know that for sure. Of course not. That's just me wishful thinking, and I think that will put Rasheed Walker in a position to be the swing tackle. Like Dave said, whoever isn't the starting left tackle, their hope is that person can be the swing tackle and to play the left or the right position, if anyone gets injured. So, but me right now, I'm willing to put my money on Monroe Freeland, because just like we talk about with anybody else drafted in the first round, you gotta look at and think about the draft capital that was used. And I'm not talking about trading. I'm just talking about for the mere fact that he was a 19th overall pick in the
Hmm.
draft. Like that holds some weight. And you wanna, if he's ready, you wanna see get him out on the field and see what you got. You know what I'm saying? You can't really determine what you got by him being on the sidelines.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm just on the Monroe Freeling train, and I'm good right there. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, and I heard that too about, whoever doesn't get the starting spot, can possibly be a swing tackle. Okay. And the thing is, now I didn't make a slide on Monroe Freeland like I did for like Taylor Moton and all them, but I do have his PFF stats from last year. Okay, he had an overall grade of 71.4, pass blocking grade 85.6, but his run blocking grade was a 61.3. Okay. Now I'm guessing the hope is that, you can get in here and Coach Gilbert can get him up to snuff and get him prepared if he does take on the starting role. Now, the only thing I got here is, okay, so if I'm not mistaken, Rasheed Walker has not taken a snap at anything other than left tackle. I think maybe one snap at tight end in his entire career. Okay, since he was playing with Green Bay. Now, the thing I'll say that about Monroe Freeland, what was it? A couple seasons ago, he split time at left and right tackle for Georgia. Okay. Now, it's kind of one of the situations for me where it's like if Rasheed Walker gets it, okay, cool, you got Monroe who's got experience at both sides. But I'm going to assume that the Panthers, when they brought Rasheed Walker in for talks or whatever, they went ahead and made sure, like, hey, are you comfortable playing both sides, of the line, if we need you? Because versatility is a thing that I will get into here in a little bit. I got a whole slide dedicated, to that, because we are going from, a room, offensive line room that I think the Panthers had, I forgot how many different combinations they had on the offensive line last year, but it was quite a few. But it worked out because of the versatility of the players. You had players that could play hell, Brady Christensen could play all five spots. You had Austin Corbett who could play center and guard. And we'll get into that in a little bit you know. But I'm just hoping, well, like I said, whoever doesn't get the starting job will be prepared, just in case. Because, like I said, I still don't like the other option, as a backup. And even still, it might be a situation where the Panthers do like they did last year when they had Josh Nijman. Now, Josh Nijman was the only backup, per se, at left tackle and right tackle. Okay, he was it. If Icky was out of the game, he was on the left. If Taylor was out of the game, he was on the right. So, but we'll see. Now, mind you, I don't know what this means for Icky. You know what I mean? If he comes back during this season, I don't know how all that's going to shuffle out. But the one thing I will say, like I said last week, even with the running back episode, if you get either one of these gentlemen right here going out there and playing that left tackle spot, and they are going out there and they are doing their thing, the offensive unit is in sync, For God's sakes, Dave Canales, Coach Gilbert, Dan Morgan, Tepper, all of them. Do not bring Icky back in here and disrupt what's going on. If everything is going in the right direction, my God, somehow ease Icky back into this, smoothly. You know what I mean? And my thing, even if it's a situation where I'm kind of like, if y'all are watching the Stanley Cup Finals, and mind you, I'm not like a hockey fan. I don't pay attention to it until it gets to the finals. But one of the stories that I picked up on, you had the goalie Anderson, okay, who was having a rough go of it in the early part of the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, mind you, been playing great throughout the playoffs. Okay, so it got to a point where the coach for the Hurricanes put in my man Busey, Busey, it's Busey, Bussy. I'm sorry, that's it, Bussy. It put in Bussy at as the goaltender. All right, undrafted guy, and has come in and has played great. So the talk was about bringing Anderson back in, for the game that they had, was it last night before, but they went ahead and announced that Bussy was going to go ahead, and start. And I'm hoping it's the same thing with this here. Like if we get out here and you got Monroe Freeland and Rasheed Walker and they both struggling, and Icky comes back and Icky jumps right in and solidifies that left side, great. But my hope is the same, if you get Monroe Freeland out here balling or Rasheed Walker out here balling, don't disrupt the flow that that the Panthers have established. All right. If they establish it. Because I feel like it would be the same thing with the running back situation that we had last year. All right. Tone, your thoughts on any of that? I think you still muted. Cuz.
Yeah, my bad. I was
Okay.
talking again. I was talking away again. I was talking away again. But no, I just remember a while back, you and I was having this conversation about if Monroe Freeland somehow takes this left tackle position and shows that he belongs in the NFL at that position, and it goes well for him. When Icky come back, what do you do with Icky? And we were talking about potentially it could be something that you might can move Icky to right tackle if you move away from Taylor Moton, or if you retire or something like that. Like if you really feel like you got some value with Icky, but it's not necessarily at the left tackle position, or or if you somehow, for whatever reason, get rid of one of the guards, and the next year you slide Icky into a guard position. I think a lot of people feel like Icky is best suited at guard than he is, at either tackle position. And I could see that. I could see him being a role grader in the middle, being a interior presence, if you will. So I think that lends to options, and something that the Panther brass will have to think about if they don't just want to move on from him. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a situation where they talk to Icky about it and get his input as opposed to what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
there going to be so much in the air, but just another option to keep the strength of the offensive line and the cohesiveness of the offensive line together, because Icky's been in this system just as long as Taylor Moton and Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis and those guys. So yeah.
Okay. Hey, J Issue, he said early take, are y'all keeping keeping Icky or cutting him? Let me tell you, I wouldn't cut Icky. I wouldn't cut him at all. And I ain't even think about this, Tone, what you said, potentially moving him, to right tackle. Now Tone, do you think he could make that transition to right tackle? Do you think that would be too much for him?
I don't know. I mean, I
Okay,
don't know. That's something that they will have to consider. Something that they will have to play with in the off season or during OTAs and mini camp things of that nature. If
mm,
it's something that Icky wants to do and he's cool with it, then he's going to have to attack it as it being a new start at a new position and try his best to make the best of it. But whether
true.
whether it will work or not, I have no idea. None.
Okay. All right, bet. But Jay, to answer your question, no, I'm not cutting Icky. I'm one thing the other year taught me as far as offensive line, you can't have too much good depth and too much good versatility. If you get Icky and move him to another spot potentially, he still know how to play left tackle. So you know what I mean? So there's that. Hey, Reality Beats 11. Thank you for the $5 super chat. The Charlotte Observer says Freeland got beat bad by Princely and Nick Scourton. Y'all think he's still ready to start? Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out because think about it too. Okay, so the Panthers, and I think that's why Canales said that he cut practice short the other day because he said he felt like that they weren't bringing the intensity, and I think he felt like they got to that point where they did cut practice short. He wanted them to get ready for one of the, I think he said, the most intense training camps and preseasons that they're going to have because for the past few years it's only been training camp. You got 3 preseason games and then the regular season. Now they have training camp, they have the Hall of Fame game, they have 2 joint practices plus the other 3 preseason games. So one thing that I would say is, they're going to get enough work to see exactly who they want out there at that left tackle spot, you know. And I'm hoping that him getting beat by Princely and Nick Scourton is more beneficial for the defense as it won't be as much as a detriment to him on and the offense if he does get that spot. I hope that's just an attestament to the work that Scourton and Princely have put in the all season. Like I said, that for me, that's just a hope. Okay. But
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see. To be honest with you, I'm hoping that whoever does the best out of these two, that's who they put there. I don't care that Monroe. I don't care that Monroe Freeland. Y'all see how bad I get at combining words? It's crazy and it gets worse and worse. I call that man Monroeland. They see Monroeland. Oh
Oh
my God.
God.
Yo. Oh my, let me tell you, the older I get, the worse it get. But I don't care that Monroe was the first round pick, number 19. I want the best left tackle that to be out there and playing, and if he's not that at first, it might do him some good to sit back, watch, learn, get some time. Because I'm sure they're gonna put him out there on the field, at some point. You have some big sets where you bring in an extra lineman as a tight end, things of that nature. And just like I said, just in case Taylor Moton misses a game or something, maybe they throw him over there on the right side. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, but man,
Yeah.
again, hey, appreciate that $5 super chat. Tone, what you think about that?
Yeah, to answer that question, no, I'm not concerned about him getting beat by Princeton and Nick Gordon right now. I mean, they out there with t-shirts and shorts on. Ain't no real football being played. They ain't got no, no. The answer,
Okay,
flat out, no. I'm not worried. Let's see what happens in the preseason. Let's see, because
mm,
he's gonna get plenty of options. He's going to get plenty of playing time in the preseason. So let's see what he
facts.
does. When there's live bullets. But
Okay,
no, I'm not worried about him getting beat by Princeton and scoring. Ain't too many
okay,
guys. Ain't too many people ain't gonna get beat by them.
okay. All right, again, man, appreciate the super chat, dog. Uh, Michael says, keep in mind, Icky is in the final year of his contract, so they will have to re-sign him before the season ended, or he will become a free agent. Oh, okay, got you. Hmm,
Yeah. Because this season, this is his fifth
fifth
year
year.
option season. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another wrinkle thrown into it. Okay, I forgot about that. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Bobby
because he
Digital, what's
came.
going on? Go ahead, Tom. No, go ahead.
I'm gonna say he came in the year before Bryce, right?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is his 5th year.
Okay. Bobby Digital says the only way Icky coming back is they release Moulton, Hunt, or Lewis. Those 3 salaries at highest point. Okay. Gotcha. Said they hating. In Stone, I trust. Man, Mo. Stone who? I hope Stone
Yeah.
Cold, not Stone Forsyth. Bruh. Woo. Mm. And like I said again, y'all. Again. I'm my thoughts and opinions about Stone Forsyth are about his numbers from last season.
Now
I hope to God if he play, he get it turned around. Go ahead, Tom.
you read that message and then you look at his profile picture and you ask yourself, is that somebody I'm gonna believe or trust what he say about Stone Forsythe? Mo, come on, Mo. That ain't it, dog. That ain't it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the left tackle spot, okay, probably going to be one of the good battles, period, for this team, training camp and preseason. Okay, this is probably going to be one of the more watched and talked about competitions, period, for the Panthers this offseason. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And again, all right. Now, I'm doing the same thing I did for the left tackle spot that I'm doing for the center spot. Okay. So we had Cade Mays, who I thought, hold on, he said, man, Bryce gonna get Stone gonna get Bryce Tombstone.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
hey, let me tell you, I'm gonna have it ready, dog. If he gets in the game and gives up a sack, I'm gonna play the highlights, and when Bryce get hit, I'm like dun 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 dun. I'm gonna have that Stone Cold theme music ready to go, bruh. But I hope not. All right, so we had Cade Mays, who, let me tell you, I did not see a scenario where Cade Mays was not going to be a Carolina Panther right now. I honestly did not see that. I thought that he was probably going to be one of the top priorities in the Panthers, for the Panthers to bring back. And not saying that he wasn't. He probably was, but it looks like Cade Mays had, other plans. You know what I mean? I don't know the goings and comings or the in and outs of his talks with the Lions or his talk with the Panthers, but he's not here anymore. Okay. So with Cade Mays last year, he had an overall grade of 62.4, run blocking grade 58.5, pass blocking grade 69.4. Okay. Now we have Luke Fortner, who was brought in as a free agent from the Saints. Was it the Saints or the Jaguars, Tom? I think it was the Saints. He played with the Jaguars a couple years ago,
Saints.
right? Okay. All right. So you
But
got
hold
Luke
on. I
Fortner.
think I think he came from Jacksonville last year. Don't quote me. I'll look it up while you're talking. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we got Luke Fortner, overall grade 66.5, run block grade 65.3, pass blocking grade 72.5. All right. Cade Mays, 726 snaps, Luke Fortner 678. 2 penalties for Cade Mays, 3 penalties for Luke Fortner, 0 sacks allowed for Cade Mays, 3 sacks allowed for Luke Fortner. Okay. Also, and like Tone pointed out in the previous slides, look at the total pressures. Okay, 11 for Cade Mays and 11 for Luke Fortner. Okay. And to be honest with you, I think some of the stats. Hold on, let me make sure.
Yeah,
Let me
he
make
came from
sure.
New Orleans last year. He was at New Orleans.
Okay. All right. Make sure I got all my stuff right here. Yeah, Cade Mays. I'm sorry, Cade Mays. 3 hits allowed, and 11 total pressures, 2 penalties. So that is right. All right, and let me bring up Luke Fortner. I think some of my stats ran together down here. Okay.
So you
Yeah,
said
3
you
sacks
said K
allowed.
Mays. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You said K Mays he allowed how many hits?
11.
Or that's total pressure.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no. No hits. I'm sorry. Hold on. Cade Mays, 3 hits allowed. So it should be a 3 down there. 3 hits allowed, 11 total
Okay.
pressures. All right. Luke Fortner, no hits allowed, 11 total pressures. But he gave up 3 sacks and he had 3 penalties. All right. So one of those stats right there is off. All right.
Okay. All
So,
right.
all right. Now, and I say this, kind of like the last situation. All right. So in the draft, the Panthers went out and brought in Sam Heck, the center out of Kansas State. Okay. So, and again, I bring up the same thing, the rookie versus the veteran. Okay. Tone, what are your thoughts on this battle at the at the center spot? And while you talk, I'm going to pull up Sam Heck's PFF numbers for last year.
Well, I can tell you the most important numbers. Sam Heck had 0 sacks, 0 hits allowed, 0 pressures. And if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't given up a sack in the past 2 years. Another offensive lineman that I scouted and was hoping that we would be able to get. I had him as my third ranked center. Coming into this draft, I was surprised that he was around in the 5th round. I thought he was gonna be like a second or third round pick. So there were a couple guys that went before him. One or two I was surprised at, but yeah, I was more than ecstatic that he was available in the 5th round. When you watch him on tape, I scouted I think 2 or 3 games of his from last year at Kansas State. He reminds me a lot of Tyler Lindenbaum. He's not overly big, but he has quick feet, agility, great
Mm,
hand placement. Keeps his hands on the inside of his frame. He locks onto you, and it's hard for him to. It's hard for you to be able to get away. Creates great angles in the in the run game, whether you run the inside zone or a gap scheme. Um, I ain't gonna. I didn't pull up my notes that I had on him, but yeah, I was highly impressed with Sam Heck. I think he has a wrestling background, if I'm not mistaken, in high school. So
he got a
hey,
wrestling background.
wrestling, yeah. So everything that you could want in a franchise center, Sam
Mm,
Heck possessed those things. And I think there
okay.
was one game. I think I watched the game of his against Texas Tech, and Lee Hunter couldn't do nothing with him. And in that game, Sam Heck played left guard. He didn't play center
Oh,
last year.
okay.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he played some left guard, if I'm not mistaken, in that game. And yeah, Lee Hunter couldn't do nothing with him. But so there's that.
Oh, okay. Bet. Excuse me. But
Who said shake
now
honey
my
from a tree? Black ball and music group. Who is that? What's happening?
look, that's your favorite line right there, Tom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
What's
that's
going on,
me.
Black Ball and Music Group?
What's happening?
But yeah, but I now mind you, like I said, I really wish K Mays would have stayed. But I let me see. I like that they drafted Sam Heck. Okay, and I actually like the pickup of Fortner as well. And I like that there's going to be a battle for this spot. And again,
Mm-hmm.
best man wins. Whether it's Heck, whether it's Fortner, put your best foot forward and go out there and play. I really got to go and look back at some tape of Luke Fortner. I haven't really looked at any of it. just to kind of get a idea of how he holds up, how he holds blocks, how he's able to move up to the second level and whatnot. And I got to do the same thing with Sam Heck. Tony, I know you've seen plenty of tape of him. That's why I usually refer anything Sam Heck. I'll let you I'll let you have your way with it on that one. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be an interesting battle in camp and preseason. But again, as with the left tackle, the one thing they're going to lack is opportunity. They're not going to lack the opportunity and the chance to go out there, and prove themselves. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to see, as with the center spot and the left tackle spot, you'll probably see a game where you're going to have Monroe Freeling and Sam Heck starting. You probably see a game where you're going to have Luke Fortner and Rasheed Walker starting. You might see a game where there might be other combinations of the two. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how this pans out. All right. So that is our center position. And for those of you just joining us, we started off talking about Jalen Coker and his contract, and then we got into the Panthers offensive line, and we started with the three positions that we know are going to be locks. Okay, we know they're going to be locks. The two guard spots and our right tackle. You got Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt, and Taylor Moton. Okay, so then we got into talking about the two position battle, center and left tackle, that we're going to see who's going to step up and take over those spots. All right, we talked about Monroe Freeling and Rasheed Walker, and now we just got through talking about Sam Heck and Luke Fortner. Okay, and real quick, excuse me. Real quick, if you didn't catch the live earlier as well, we're doing a giveaway. Okay, we're doing a giveaway here at the end of the live, and it's for Father's Day. So we're going to be giving away, whoever wins, you'll have your choice of one of these custom tumblers, okay, that you can get kind of done up, pimped out for dad. You see mine right here has dad and a lot of inspirational words and stuff. Got power drill and hammer, because I like to fix stuff and tear stuff apart. Okay, and also, if you want to get special dad in your life, a Carolina Panthers chain. And mind you, this one says 2025 NFC South champions. Okay. It doesn't have to say that. It can be just a regular logo on it. You can choose from that as well. If you want me to customize it, put their name on the bottom of it, I can do that also. All right. And we'll get into it here in a minute, and I'll let everybody know how you can enter to win that. All right. And that is also, I want to mention that it's brought to you by today's sponsor, Nella's Laser and Design. All right. Okay. Now, Tone, let me go ahead and I'm going to skip over a couple slides, but I'm going to make my way back through them. All right. So, all right. Now, like I asked last time, what's your biggest question? What's your biggest concern? And what do you think the biggest battle is for this offensive line group?
The biggest battle is the left tackle position. I mean, the left tackle and the center position are both going to be good battles, but I think the left tackle position, for what it's worth, because it is the left tackle position, is going to be viewed as the biggest. My biggest concern is what are we going to get from Robert Hunt coming back off injury. So yeah, that would be my only concern. My question, will Icky play at all in 2026? Yeah.
That's a damn good question. Okay. All right. Bet. Okay, so I'm going to agree with you on the battle. I'm going to also agree with you on the concern. My question for this group is, will the versatility that we had last year turn out to be a negative this year? Okay. And I say that because, all right. Okay, so these are the players that are currently not on the roster. All right. Cade Mays is in Detroit. Austin Corbett is in Buffalo. Brady Christensen is kind of out in the wind. He hasn't signed with anybody. He's still a free agent. And Yash Nyman retired. Okay. Yash Nyman actually retired. And I bring this slide up to show you all of the different spots that they played for the Carolina Panthers. Okay. And not necessarily last year, but with their time in general. Okay, K Mays has played. He started at left guard, right guard, and center for the Panthers. So has Austin Corbett. Brady Christensen, in his time since being drafted by the Panthers, has played at least a snap at every position on the offensive line. Okay, and then you have Yash Nyman, who was our swing tackle last 2 seasons. Played left tackle and right tackle. And he was kind of my offensive version of Nick Scott, that first year he was here. Wasn't a big fan of him, but last season, as I say with Nick Scott, I think he definitely turned it around and was a solid, stable piece, integral to, us winning some of these games, being able to come in and provide, just what the Panthers needed, to get by. Okay. And like I said, I forgot exactly how many different combinations the Panthers had across the offensive line last season, but it was quite a few. Okay. And my thing is now, if you look at everybody else currently on the roster, I don't see, I don't really see this versatility. Okay, the only versatile piece that I really see right now is at the tackle spots. Okay, so whoever wins that left tackle spot, whoever doesn't, the hope is, like you said, Tony, they can play left or right tackle. Other than that, it's kind of, yeah, these cats are locked in, where they're at. And I know if we have a center and we have a backup center, and we have guards and we have backup guards, I think that's cool if it's just like, okay, well, somebody's going to be out this game, and shoot, and they'll be back the next. That's one thing. But we had a lot of last year where a lot of excuse me, a lot of where they had to mix and match pieces, and they had to take Austin Corbett, put him over here. They had to take Brady Christensen, put him over here. They had to, K Mays play center all year now, so he really didn't move, and Yash Nyman playing from left and right side of the line as well, So like I said, my biggest question is, will what I think is a little bit, you know a lack of versatility from last year to this year, will it bite us in the ass this year? I hope not, But like I said, that's my biggest question. And while I got this slide on the screen here, Tony, let me ask you this too. Okay. So the Panthers kept 9 offensive linemen last year, right? So you think about it now. Icky is going, is going to go on the IR. He's going to be out at least the first 6 games of the season. I do believe. Okay. So you're going to have Rasheed Walker, Rasheed Walker and Monroe Freeland battling for that tackle. All right, you're going to have Damian Lewis, that's 3. Then you're going to have Fortner and Heck battling for the center, Robert Hunt, and then you're going to have Taylor Moton. So that's 7. All right. So if the Panthers keep 9 or keep 10 offensive linemen, who do you think from this list right here is going to make it?
I do like Charles Sadiq. I can't remember what college he came from. I think was it LSU? I know he was
Hold
with
on,
the
let me look it up.
Bears. I liked him. I liked him when he came out of college. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept Charles Sadiq.
Yeah,
And
LSU.
yeah, LSU. Okay. And I hate to say this. God, I hate to say this.
Talk to me.
Chandler Zavala, man. I mean,
What?
I'm not saying as my choice. I'm just saying I believe they will keep him. If it was me, hell no, I wouldn't pick him. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think the Panther brass, for whatever reason, likes this kid, and one, he can't stay healthy. You know,
At
he
all.
has become the definition of injury prone. We've seen in
Mm-hmm.
games where he is more of a clusterfuck at the right guard position than he is than he does providing any stability or positivity going forward. So I think Jatari Carter, I think he came from HBCU, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he?
Let me find
Jatari
out here.
Carter.
Southern. Yep, came from Southern.
He went to Southern. Albert Reese is an undrafted free agent this year, if I'm not mistaken. Zavala just got injured.
Yeah, he is out of Mississippi
From
State.
Mississippi State. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. He's averaged. I watched some game. I think I watched one game tape of Albert Reese from Mississippi State last year. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know anything about Joshua Gray. I know Nick Samak was on the roster last year, mainly on the
Mm-hmm.
practice squad as that
Yeah.
third center. But I think like we said, the battle is going to be between Sam Heck and Luke Fortner. Your left guard and right guards are
Mm-hmm.
solidified when it comes to the starters. So who's going to be the backups? That's why I say
Yeah.
I would look at Charles Sadiq and Chandler Savala.
Okay.
Maybe Albert Reese can show
Mm-hmm.
something and show some potential at the right tackle spot behind Taylor Moton. We never know. Who's I can't see because the comment is up. Who's the bottom down there? Number
Stone
73.
Forsyth.
Oh shit! You can leave the comment up. You can leave it up.
Hold on, the comment still up on your screen?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, my bad. All right, cool. He
Yeah.
said,
I don't
"Yeah,
know
just."
why.
He said, "Just
Yeah.
leave it."
It's up to God. God know what he's doing. God know what he's doing. Won't he do it?
Yes, he will. But yeah, okay. All right, I got you. Because like I said, past those top 7 offensive linemen that I mentioned, I think it's a free for all here as far as who they do decide to keep. But I'm hoping that they got enough to choose from. I'm hoping that they got enough quality players to choose from, so we'll have some quality backups. So we'll see. Reality Beast, thank you for the $2 super chat. I greatly appreciate you again. Should we draft a franchise guard next year? To be honest with you though, I think they might try to draft another franchise right tackle before they do guard. And I say that because Damian Lewis is still in the contract for next year. And Robert Hunt is still in the
Robert
contract
Hunt.
for this year and 2 more years. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
do think it will all depend on as well. Now if Damian Lewis continues to play well, you might go ahead and see an extension and the Panthers bring him back. Now, if Robert Hunt goes out there and doesn't get back up to snuff from previous seasons, and for some reason maybe it's showing that it's not going to work out, then maybe. You know what I mean? Then maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, appreciate you. Go ahead, Tom.
I don't. I think it's way too early to tell to say whether or not they should draft a franchise guard for next year. Let's see how this season plays out. That's typically what I do before I start making any assumptions on what Carolina could or couldn't possibly do for the next year's draft or free agency. I'd like to see how things shake out pretty much throughout the season, towards the end of the season. It kind of gives you an indication where you believe or where you think Carolina should go in free agency and the upcoming draft. So yeah, it's too early to say that for me.
Okay. Bet. D Cash, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? Glad you
What's
could
up,
join. Glad you
DKS?
could join.
And man, it's like a lot of y'all watching right now, like 30, 40 something y'all watching right now. it ain't too many likes, man. Y'all gotta double tap the screen, get them likes up. Subscribe to CJ's channel, CJ Armchair GM, and support the channel, man. Don't be a stranger.
Appreciate you, cuz. Appreciate you. So Tone, now before we get to the giveaway, any other thoughts and opinions you got on the offensive line that I may have missed?
Not at this moment. No, I think we covered everything on the offensive line from the stability of it, people coming back from injuries, the position battles, what we would like to see, what we hope we don't see. Stone
Yeah.
Foresight. You know, things like that. So yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything when it comes to the offensive line.
What we call him, Tony? Stone Cold sacked often.
Yeah,
No, Stone
Stone Fold sacked
sacked
often.
often. Oh God, yo, that is crazy. Okay, all right, y'all. Now, what we're going to do here, if you didn't see this earlier when we first got going, we're going to, like I said, we're going to do a giveaway. If you want something for your dad or a father figure in your life, we have a custom tumbler here, and like I said, it's got dad written on it. It's engraved with different words, provider, let me see, understanding, generous, loyal,
Understanding. That's a lot.
protector, funny, motivator, all the words that describes me to a T, so yeah. Despite what
That's a
number 3
lie.
pencil says right here. All right. And we're also giving away. Most said
That is
don't do
highly
Stone like
debatable.
that. We're also giving away one of our custom Panthers hype chains. Okay. And again, like I said, and let me hold on, let me switch back to this real quick. Okay. So like I said, this one here is the one I made, to wear to the playoff game last year. So I'll get you one and it'll just have the logo on here. But also if you want it customized, if you want it to say dad or your dad's name or whatever, I can do that as well. Okay. So that's what we got going on right now. So, if you want to join, just hit type in hashtag for dad in the comments, and I'll sit here and I'll see if anybody wants to join. If anybody doesn't, we'll bring this up at a later date. All right. But Tom, man, so let me see. One thing I forgot to put in here was what do you think about Bryce ride four wheelers down in Swamp Bottom, South Carolina with XL and the boys?
I don't think nothing of it. Nothing. From my understanding, XL said he been trying to get them boys down there. I guess they finally came. That he said that the trail ride was pretty long, so them boys didn't stay for for dinner afterwards because they was trying to get back to Charlotte before it got too dark. So yeah, man. Hey, I can't. I take it with a grain of salt. Hopefully, whatever transpired that we didn't see, as far as them getting time on task with the routes, getting familiar with what each other like and don't like, building that chemistry. I hope that played a part into whatever, into the time that Bryce spent down there. But other than that, man, I don't give a shit about them riding no four wheelers and horses down a dirt road or country road or whatever.
Shoot, let me say, I thought it was dope. Man, let me say, they look. If I was a franchise quarterback, they probably would have been mad at me. They'd have seen video of me down there doing all kind of dumb shit. Let me tell you, they'd have been probably been like, "Yo, we get that you're bonding, we get that you're out there, doing stuff, but you got to remember the bigger picture." I'd be like, "The bigger, did you see the tires on that damn 4-wheeler he let me drive? Oh, I had to put it through his paces, dog. I couldn't.
Yeah.
that
See,
that would have been me."
I've never been into any of that, so I guess that's why it don't really move me at all.
Oh, hey, and making true money. Oh, my bad. I saw your first comment. I forgot to put it on there. Hey, put hashtag for dad together.
See how your friend do you, MTM?
Shut up, number 3.
See how you do you?
Type hashtag for dad all together. There's a space in between the tag and the for dad, so it's not gonna pick it up. But yeah, man. Let me say, because my pops, my dad, our uncles, they love horses. Your dad didn't ride horses, did he, Tom?
Nah, he didn't ride horses. He never owned any neither.
Okay, I about to say I don't remember ever having horses, but my dad had them. I know Uncle Kenny, Uncle Curtis had them, and and I know my dad wanted me to ride horses with him so bad. But let me tell you, my behind was allergic to horses. I could not get within a couple feet of them and not start sneezing and sniffling and it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Okay.
Uncle Kenny tried to get me to ride horses a couple times, and he said to me, "Listen," he was like, "Now everybody else ride horses. Why you can't ride no horse?" I said, listen, I ain't built for this. I ain't built for this." He said, "Oh, I get it." He said, "Oh, cause you grew up in the city, you think you too good to ride horses." I said, "Well, at least you understand where I'm coming from." I mean, hey.
well, there was that, but y'all gotta remember thing with Cousin Tony. Cousin Tony is built, like 70-30. Okay. He's 70% upper body, 30% lower body. So he couldn't get his legs around to get him in the stirrups for the horses. So that's the real reason, why Tony couldn't. I told you I was gonna get you back at some point. I couldn't wait. I told you I was gonna get you back at some point. Because I'm operating on the 70-30.
Yeah,
you did.
I just walked right into that one. It's cool. It's cool.
All right. I'm gonna give it another few seconds here. Like, again, if anybody else, if you want to enter to win either a customized tumbler or a customized Panthers hype chain, go ahead and type hashtag for dad in the comments, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing popping here. Let me see. Give it about 30 seconds. All right.
Nervaz don't believe everything CJ saying.
Let me tell you. Yeah, top heavy. It's a top heavy.
That was a good comeback. That was a good comeback.
Yeah, boy. Let me tell you, when Tone was a baby, they had to put the harness up under his arms like this and tie him to the back of the crib. Because when they came in there one day, they found him face first in the in the bars of the crib, like he was trying to get out of jail like this. All right, I'm gonna stop.
Now you trying to put child abuse on dead people.
Oh, no. All right. That's my cue. Go ahead and stop. All right. Cool. Appreciate those of y'all who have entered. All right, and let's go ahead and get this bad boy going.
That's a shame. All the people watching, only like 3 or 4 people in there. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
No, it's all good. Shoot, I appreciate everybody that Big Mo, congratulations. Okay.
Big Mo.
And Mo, and I know you got my contact information already. Let me know which one you want. Okay, let me know if you want the tumbler. Let me know if you want the Panthers hype chain. And again, like I said, I can customize the hype chain where it can say it can say it can say dad, or come on. Here, just give it here. Oh, hold on, y'all. Yeah. Son cutting the neighbor's yard, and he bringing me back the battery for the lawnmower, but I got the fan propped in front of the door. So, but anyway, but yeah, Mo, let me know. Like I said again, tumbler here. Like I said, it's got the engravings on it. Let me know if you want a specific name on it on this here, okay? Or if you want the hype chain, let me know what name you want on it. And yeah, Lord, no, he did. He said,
What you do?
"Oh, hold on, I got 2 comments." And he said, "In Stone we trust." Okay.
Oh
He said
yeah.
he want the chain. Okay. All right. Send me a message on IG. Okay. And I'll throw something at you. If you wanted to say, like I said, if you wanted to say somebody's name or dad, or you want just the Panther chain, just let me know. All right, and I'll send you something. Kenny, it said congratulations, Mo. Hey, Will said, Will said, don't tell me you built like Yosemite Sam.
Will, don't do that, Will. Don't do that. Don't fall for CJBS.
Hey, okay. So if any of y'all know anything about tractors, okay, you got some tractors where when you doing work, like with a front loader or something, you got to put a weight on the back as a counterbalance. So when Tony go bowling, he got to wear a weighted fanny pack and turn it around to the back. So when he throw that ball, he don't go tumbling down the lane. All right, I'm done.
Oh
I'm done.
boy, that's okay. Cause when I tell you I'm gonna get you, oh my
I
God,
know. I know you are.
oh
I know
my
you are. I
God.
know you are. He said Yosemite
So
Sam.
soaking it all in right now.
Tony out there. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, okay. All right. Back. Her fat said nasty work. Oh
Hey,
God.
Nervous.
Okay. Oh, my
All
head
I did
hurts
was
now.
have one little joke at the beginning, but you see how he do. He gets started, he can't stop. It's all
I
right.
can't. I can't
It's gonna
stop.
get him. It's gonna get him.
Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all. All right. So again, I appreciate everybody for joining me today, joining me and cousin Tony. All right. So if you just joining now, all right, we talked about the Carolina Panthers offensive line and roster talk episode 2. Okay, we talked about the staples of the offensive line, who we know that are locked in at a position. Then we went into talking about the position battles at left tackle and center. We talked about our concerns, our questions, we thought the biggest battles were going to be. We talked about the versatility of the players from last year versus the versatility of the players from this year. We gave our thoughts and opinions. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you go back and check all of that out. All right. And again, I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you to Reality Beats for the 2 super chats. Thank you to everybody for joining. Thank you for all the good laughs in the chat. And again, and shout out to today's sponsors, Nella's Laser and Design. Okay, make sure you go and check her out on all social media: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Okay. So you can go and look at some of her designs. She does quality work, and I'm not saying that just because she is my wife. I'm saying that because her work speaks for itself. All right. So thank you. So Tone, any other thoughts, anything you want to say before we get up out of here? Hit that mute
No,
button
I'm
again.
good, cuz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I had stepped away from the computer. But no,
Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
I think we covered everything, dog.
All right, cool beans. All right. So next week, I think I already I'm gonna lock it in. We're gonna talk about the wide receivers and tight ends. And I think I'm gonna do them together. I don't think tight ends is gonna be enough for a whole episode by themselves. So we'll wrap up um with both, not wrap up the offense, but we'll wrap both of them together into one. We'll do wide receivers and tight ends, and then we'll get into the quarterbacks. Now, let me ask y'all this: Y'all want to do quarterbacks to round up the offense, or do you want to save quarterback for last in general? Because I know that's a that's a touchy subject around these here parts. So y'all let me know. But next week we're going to do wide receivers and tight ends. All right. So as always, everybody, again, whatever platform you're watching on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or X, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. All right. And again, Panther Nation, I'm gonna leave y'all with 3 things. Number 1, y'all be good. Number 2, y'all be safe. And number 3, as always, Panther Nation, hydrate, stay cool in this heat, and keep pounding, man. I'll see you.
And shop